Okay, today I'm going to practice my English by reading article which I already show you on the screen. Okay, let's get started. Introduction to Object-Oriented Programming in JavaScript. What is Object-Oriented Programming? Object-Oriented Programming, or OPP, is a programming program that uses objects to model real-world data. OOP in JavaScript allow us to create objects that serve as models and then create new instances of those models. This is a process called instantiation. How is object instantiation useful? Imagine that we have an application with many users and we want to store data about all of those users. For each user, we want to track their names, age, number of visits to other our websites, and number of comments. We also want each user to have a method introduced that logs out its name. We could do so by creating a new object from scratch every time a user sign up, like so. Okay, so here we declare a function to create user and pass into parameter name and age, and then inside the body of function we do return the object which have key value pair. So first key is name and we have value as a name, and then the next one is age and we also have age as values, and register we declare initial values as start from 0 and then comments as starts at 0 as so also, and then we create a method called introduce and assign to the function definitions, and then we invoke we call inside, and then we console logs. My name is this name, so gonna call to the names key value pair. Okay, move on. On the other hand, create a new user object from scratch every single time might not be the most dry approach. Each user object has the same fields, and all user objects will start with visits and comments set it to 0. There are several ways in JavaScript that we can create a model, also known as class, to serve as a template for creating future objects. So create object using a function, so that we already do, right? And then create object using a function. Perhaps. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce this one. Let me have a look. That's I see many often, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me want to correct myself. Okay. A P-E-R-E-H-A-F-E. Okay.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
Why do you pronounce perhaps? Oh, sorry. I do wrong. Perhaps. Okay. Perhaps the most obvious way to create an object based on a template is so create a function that return object. Okay. Let me take it down for a second time. Someone send me a message. Thank you for sending. Okay, so let's check. Okay, I'm just turn on my application. And I think I did do already. What happened? Why I didn't? Console log. Okay, so I need to log in something. So just waiting for me, okay? Okay. Okay, so what is that long? Okay, here we are. So I'm gonna log in this time later. Let me check. Okay, 3. Oh, okay. In 30 minutes. Oh no. 2:30. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Let me move this one. Just leave on top where I read now. Okay. Perhaps the most obvious way we create an object based on a template is to create a function that returns objects with a defined structure. For example, we could create a function create user that take that accept names and age parameters and return a new object. Like this, like also like we already read this one. This works, but it still doesn't feel like the most elegant solutions. Every object that we create has a new copy of the introduced method, but all of those introduced methods do to exact same things. Yeah, they do exact same things. If only there are some way we could create now a new object with access to the same method. So then we don't have to keep copy those same methods over and over again, and thus using more and more memories. Because every time we create functions, we always use a space in memory. Okay, so now that's why we first use create using user by using a function. So this kind of not really is good way, not really doesn't feel like the most elegant solution. So we have another solution. So it's called the prototype chains. Okay, prototype chain. I will try to pronounce. We are in luck. JavaScript does allow us to create new objects with access to the same property and methods without creating new copies of those properties and methods each time through sometimes called the prototype chain. The prototype chain connects objects that we create with another object that serves as your guess is prototype. Okay, object inherits properties and methods from objects that are in their prototype chain. You are create an object that inherits from another object, which inherits from another object, which inherits from another object, and so on. Which do you get the idea? Okay, the last object in your chain will inherit properties and methods from every previous object in the prototype chain. To make the prototype chains more concrete, follow the slip below. Okay, keep in mind that array in JavaScript are actually just special object implementation. We will see exactly how array implements here. Okay, let's move on. Open your browser dev2 in Chrome. Okay, let me just do it here. Okay, I think you're gonna see here. Okay, our arrows. Okay, let me move it here. Okay, click inspect, open the console log, type. Okay, then we're gonna type tiny array and set it to we declare const tiny with name tiny array, and we set it to array string of A, B, and C elements. That's string, and press enter, and then type tiny array again. So we see 3 elements in the array, right? Okay. Now we see our array with a little arrow next to it. That's arrow next to it. Okay, we now see the array. We now see our array with a little arrows next to it. Click to the arrow. I already clicked, which will show you all of tiny arrays properties. Okay, we have properties 0, 1, and 2, and they have value A, B, Z. Okay, which you see our property. You can see that it has a link, yeah, property, and a property for each index is 0, 1, 2, 3. And we have the value 0 with A, 1 with B, 2 with C, but it also has a mystery property. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow, okay, that's a lot now. Okay, okay, let's see. Mysteries property. Yeah, okay. We said click to fire out. Okay, click to fire out. Okay, so we fire out property add. I see. Yeah, add now is like a new method. Concast, constructor, copy which in. Interesting. There's many. Okay. Okay, let's move on. What is that? Okay, let's explain now. You will see a big list of property and methods. Strokes from tiny array. You will actually recognize some of them. Yeah, these are JavaScript native array. These are JavaScript native arrays methods. If you are trying to call any of those array methods on tiny array in the console log, you will find out they are work. Okay, so let's work it out. If I want to do here, okay, so okay, I'm gonna say tiny array dot. Okay, what is that? Add, and then I'm gonna pass add 0. So what I should get is A. Okay. Okay, that's work now. Add 0. How I do like tiny array dot char add? I don't think I can do that one. Char add. It's like we use this string, I think. How about I can do let's name Meow, gonna be my name. And I want to do, oh, sorry, I'm missing some string. Okay, so how I can do like name dot char add. Okay, char add is uses string, so I'll kind of char add one. What I should see? Okay, I see. Okay, add it uses a string, and char add uses add we use with array, and char add we use with string. Okay, move on. You will see a big list of property and methods. Okay, that is these are JavaScript native array. Yeah, right. JavaScript native array. Okay. Add concast constructor. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Where is if you are trying to call any of these array methods on tiny array in the console log, you find how it works. In fact, all array in JavaScript, all arrays in JavaScript have access to this array method, and it is all thanks to the property change. These properties that property of tiny array is actually a link to the next property type in the property change, or so all arrays in JavaScript are links to the array's property, which is where our array method. This is our array methods and property are actually stored in the other words, or array created in JavaScript inherits from the array class. Scroll down to the bottom of array property and method, and you will see another property. Okay, let me move on. Yeah, I see here. That's its object. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. Okay. It's interesting. I never see that. Okay. Scroll down to the bottom of the array properties and methods, and you will see another property. A link to next step up to the properties change. Click it, and you will see the next step up to the object prototype. So under the hood, the arrays class is an extension of the object class. Our tiny arrays should have access to all of the properties and method to see. Test this on your byting code. Tiny has own property. So I'm gonna call tiny not had own property. I'm gonna pass 2. So which I should get to in the console log. One last thing on the property chain is only works in one direction. So others arrays have access it methods of the object prototype. Objects do not have access to methods of the array prototype. Using the prototype chain, now that you know what the prototype chain is, let's figure out how to use the trends of these until we line the researching different methods from creating objects that inherit properties and or methods from others objects using the property chain. As you process through the subunits, you choose refer to the MDN documentation for object that create using constructor functions and using ES6 class syntax. Also check out this article if you want more information on the property chains. All right, let's try in. Okay, let's work. Okay, that is just for hard parts. Okay, so then I'm not gonna be, okay, that's done. So I will see the video later. Okay, that's good. So thank you so much for listening to my video. I will see you next time.